Today on Drawbli, we are drawing
portraits once more.
You can share your drawings online using the hashtag Drawbli and click the subscribe button to be notified of future videos. Abby, it is now time to wrap up our drawings.
There's still so much left to do, even though I have actually worked on this outside of our recording time.
Yeah, so did I. I worked on mine for about 30 to 45 minutes yesterday, and just about 5 minutes now before we started recording. So we've done a little bit more, making some progress. There's still a lot that needs to happen.
Quite
here.
a bit. So we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll be able to touch on everything left in the reference. Touch and emphasis just on touch on it.
Well, we normally wait to ask this question until the end of the episode, but Abby, what are you doing for finishing touches?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm doing the lips, the other side of her face, her hair. In the meantime, I'd given her a neck, a little bit of a robe, and this candle holder, and I even sketched in a hand, but we'll see. So I'd at least like to get her lips in and maybe the other side of her face. Hopefully I can work on these lips without just spending way too much time on them. I'd really like to block in something halfway decent, but it's kind of like you've been saying, like the lips are one of the big distractor pieces. So I could see myself really getting caught up in like going back and forth way too much on these.
Right.
So my hope is that I'll get it to a point where I'm like, okay, it looks like lips, and then I will force myself to move on at the right time.
Yeah. So I tell my students this all the time, but essentially, you don't want to get caught up or you don't want to get stuck, because we are going to run into parts where we just simply can't make it better. We can't do better with where we are right now. And that is totally fine, but what is not fine is getting stuck on that, and you just continue to work on it and try to make it better and you're just not succeeding.
Right. It's not going anywhere.
Right. It's not going anywhere. And you are just better off to say, well, forget that and move on to something else. Because you are going to move on to other things. You are going to continue to improve and get better. And then if you want later on, you're going to come back with later skills, and you can either try it again or revise what you had there on yours.
Yeah.
The truth is that you're going to run into things that you just can't do.
Yeah.
It's like, when we go bouldering and you try a route that you can't beat. Mm-hmm. You can keep trying that route over and over and over again, but you're just not good enough to do it yet. Right. You're going to have to come back later. Try some other stuff, try some easier things, and
eventually get to that point.
Get better. I love using exercise as a great analogy for drawing. I think it really makes a lot more sense for people. Mm-hmm. But hey, I'm still having fun working on my face. It's not. I feel like it's not the best thing I've ever done, because face be hard.
Face be super hard. What are you working on right now? Like, what are you hoping to accomplish in this final session on your face?
So I'm trying to clean up what I already have, which isn't amazing, but I would rather have something that is mediocre and not incredibly messy, rather than continue to try to improve something that I can't. So I'm just going to make what I have as good as I can. Mm-hmm. And whatever I'm left with is what I'm left with,
Yeah. I mean, we've never spent this much time on a piece during Drawbli. Are there any discernible takeaways for you, or do you feel like it's going to be one of those incremental ones where you're like, I don't really know what I learned, but I've definitely learned stuff?
Yeah, I feel like I've learned a ton of different things for just like, I've only really done hair like once or maybe twice here. And I can see that there are some ideas that like kind of work, and there are some ideas that like did not work. And what I would like to do is play around more with the ideas that did and see how I can like improve upon them. Because I have like a long time ago, I remember doing a hair tutorial that I saw online. I remember the technique, but it's something that I would have to practice. Mm-hmm. And the basic idea is kind of like what I'm doing now, where you like layer these strokes, and it kind of gives you some natural texture there. I'm just like not super great at blending my strokes right now, but like I think it's just something that it will, require some some practice. I have the general idea, the general technique of what needs to be accomplished. It's just like, wow, it looked bad, huh?
Place.
What's up?
But just getting it put into place can be the big challenge.
Yeah, and that's just like one thing. There are many other things, like I feel like with shading skin, I think just going for something, variation is fine, but even having like very subtle variation, very slight, gentle variation seems to work better. And maybe starting off a little more painterly and messy with a face for this style really just kind of throws kind of a wrench into the works and kind of slows you down, and you have to go back and then clean up everything that you did. So I think if I were to go back and do something like this again, I would start differently, not so painterly. I would start with like a basic blocked in color and then keep everything very, very simple.
And then add like texture on top of that.
Not really
sparingly.
not even really texture, more so just like some simple shading. Because I've just gone back and I've simplified any of my messiness. And now I'm going back now and doing even more of that, like just simplifying what I already have, cleaning up what I already have.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's just a couple things that I've learned. There's even more, but what have you learned, you feel like?
Oh my gosh. Well, I really... Wow. I've watched some I feel like I've learned a lot just during the duration of working on this. Not even just here, but while I've been working on this, I've watched some tutorials. Not that I'm like, wow, this is amazing portrait I've just made here.
It is, but it's looking great.
Oh, thank you. I've spent a little more time trying to look up like I don't know, I did a little eye tutorial just to refresh myself on eyes. Not thrilled with how this eye looks per se.
I think it's looking good.
Thank you. But overall, just my workflow and structure to what I'm doing, I feel like I have a more intentional idea. And also, I don't know where this there it is. This little streak here I want to get rid of. If anything, I'm more acquainted with like how far I have yet to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a valuable lesson, right? Do you feel like you've leveled up your ability to see at all? You're referencing something and trying to represent those shapes pretty accurately, it seems,
Yeah, I mean, I think every time I attempt a face, I get a little bit better at that kind of thing. I liked using some new techniques this time around, such as I really liked using your technique of creating a duplicated layer on top of like a base layer, darkening it, and then erasing parts of it.
Yeah, that's a fun way to do it.
I did that on her shoulder over here just for fun. And it was just, I mean, like, this is just a very simple blocked in piece just to represent the idea of this over here. But it was fun to do.
Abby never draws the thing. She just draws the idea.
Gosh, I know. I'm so in love with that notion of the idea of it. It's a cop-out is what it is.
It is.
It is a major cop-out to say, like, oh, yes, no, I wasn't.
Why do you think I give you crap for it every time? What, you learn anything else?
No.
No, nothing. Nothing at all.
I would say nothing conscious.
Right.
That
nothing that you can
prepared.
like explicitly point out.
Right,
No,
exactly.
That's cool. I feel like I learned that, so one of my goals here was I wanted to try like a little bit of a style study while also doing this. And it's hard. If I'm going to do a style study, at least right now with my skill set, I would more so have to do like a one-to-one copy rather than attempting to take a style and apply it to something else. I don't have the tool set like to quite achieve that kind of result yet.
Right. It's hard to know our own limitations until we strive to rise above them, I think, sometimes.
Wow. Beautiful.
Okay, let me rephrase. It's hard to know our own limitations. There we go.
Now, I like the first one. That's the title of this one. We must strive to rise above our own limitations.
Ugh, do you ever turn off your sketch layer and you're just like, oh no, That was apparently
Yes,
a big
my
crutch.
sketch layer. Me with one single layer.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you were working in one single layer. Have you really liked that, working with just one?
Yes and no. I haven't always had a single layer, so having layers is nice, right? Because it gives you lots of control. But essentially, I just take that layer after I'm done doing a change that I like, and I'm like, oh, I like that, and then I just merge it down. I am using multiple layers. I'm just not keeping those layers for
them
any
separate.
length of time after. But you have a ton of layers.
I do, but she's got so many different parts of her face that I want to be able to work on independently.
And go back to. Yeah. Now, I think it's actually better to have multiple layers, like just from a work standpoint, but I also think it's much slower and it requires organization. You got to open up your layers and say, where that eye layer at?
Yeah,
go and
or
find that.
like a moment ago where I was struggling to
Where's this
blur
single
out,
line?
literally. It does require a very careful thought, and you can't get distracted. And because I think one really nice workflow is to jump around and do a lot of different things across the canvas, not sticking to one spot. But you might forget for a moment, like, oh, I'm working on the lips, now I'm gonna go work on the eye, and now I've worked on the eye on the lip layer. Oh no.
Or on your reference layer.
And there's ways to fix that, sure, but that's just gonna, it's a slower workflow when you're having to fix mistakes like that.
And that's something you'll just naturally get better at with time. I am totally fine working with layers. It's something that I've done for a long time, but I'm just trying to give myself kind of speed.
Yes.
A little bit of a speed boost. Because I'm already pretty slow here. We both are.
Yes, I know. I'm really just trying to get the basic blocking in of the colors on these final portions of her so that, she has a second eye. She has
a second eye.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could just... Ooh, that looks awesome right there.
What, this?
Yeah, it's looking really cool.
Oh, thank you.
You can just darken that up and leave it. Very chiaroscuro-esque.
Chiaroscuro? I've never heard that word.
That's that type of lighting that's on that person. It's I forget what it translates to, but it just means like one side of face dark. No, chiaroscuro lighting is like I think a really strong key light, often really giving some sharp and dark shadows. But yeah, that's chiaroscuro lighting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine's rough. Mine's rough, but it's getting somewhere.
But you learned some stuff along the way.
I did, yeah. That looks so cool. Like, I honestly, wouldn't even do too much else with the hair for what you have.
Yeah, what my plan is for the hair is I'm putting in a very light layer, and yes, it's green on this side, but actually, one thing I've learned is that green is hiding in the weirdest places.
Yeah, the reason why her hair is kind of greenish, most likely, is because, she's got that warm candle, and there's some, blue light in there as well, so it's, shifting the color. Shifting the hue, I should say, making it appear a little more green.
Green. What I think I need to do though is I said I was gonna make this like a light base layer and then duplicate it, and then darken the duplicated layer, and then erase parts of it. So I need to go back through, make all this over here lighter, so that I can erase. I feel like that's not the color exactly that I want. Neither is this, but whatever.
Well, I'm going to try to make my eyes a little deeper, a little more visually interesting. I had thrown some temporary highlights on there a long time ago, and I just realized, oops, I kept them that way and never did anything else with them.
Oh no.
But that's okay. I'll try to make them better. I find myself using that little hold down the pen trick to get some nice curved lines quite often.
No, yeah, absolutely. Well, it's just part of being a
digital artist.
A digital creative artist. You got to be able to use the tools at your disposal.
Right. I'm digital and creative.
Yes, precisely. Have you had any good snacks lately?
Have I had any good snacks lately?
I'm big into snacking.
Well, I made us some delicious sandwiches yesterday.
You did? Those were really good.
Some bagel sandwiches.
I loved those.
Bagel. What else? What else was on our bagel other than bagel?
Alfalfa sprouts.
Yeah, that's right. Some egg. Egg on sandwich is like S tier
It's so
ingredient.
good.
Some
I
bagel.
do love some egg on a sandwich.
Some. What else was on our delicious?
Guacamole.
There was. Oh yeah, I love me some avocado. Fresh avocado.
It was good stuff.
What's going on?
I'm just trying to even out this side of her hair. I really am not loving how her hair looks on this side at all.
What's wrong with it? I think it looks pretty cool.
It looks alright. I think I'm going to need to select this side and maybe lower the opacity, I guess. I'm not sure what to do. Or darken it up a bit. Let's try that.
I'm trying to put at least 20 points of eye reflecting light, light sources in my character's eyes. The more, the better. I don't know if you know this, but the more sources of light you have, the better your character looks.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
No, not at all. More light reflection. Haven't you ever seen like anime eyes with like a million points of light like reflecting from them?
Oh, yeah, where they are in a shiny situation.
A shiny situation, twinkle eyes kind of thing. That's what I'm going for. Lots of eye reflections. The more the merrier, I say. My one eye looks so ridiculously bad. I don't know how to fix it though. It's way past cool.
My hairline on this right side is looking pretty rough. I'm not really sure what to do either.
Well, that means it's probably time for us to move on.
Yeah.
I would say. But hey, I enjoyed working on my character a lot. It was rough, it was tough, and my pen, whoa, that is not what I wanted. I'm glad you did not see that.
No. I'll see it later when I edit this, though. I'll be like,
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to call mine finished.
Yeah.
Even though I think there's more I could do. I think it's just going to take me a long
I think
time.
we've learned a lot from this study, and we're ready to move on to the next thing. It was really fun to work on, though. I really liked working on this, girl. Thank you, girl.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you, girl, for being a good study buddy.
All right. Let's check it out.
All right.
Pens down.
Yeah.
Pens down.
Oh my gosh.
Pens
Almost down.
Pens down.
Oh man. Okay.
Give me the pen.
I need it. I need it to restructure.
It's done. You can work on her later. But for now, it's time to review.
Okay.
Let's start with mine.
Oh, look at her. Wow, it's so cool to see how far you've taken her from like when you began to this much sharper finished product here. Her skin,
It's slightly better.
it is better. Her eyes look cool. Like you were saying, so many points of reflection. She looks so much better with all that different sources of light. You can see all the lights and the stars in the room around her. Very cool.
Well, thank you. Let's go ahead and take a look at yours.
Okay.
Because yours is actually very, very good.
Oh, thank you.
Yours is so cool. I'm going to do a little flippy.
Oh, I'm so afraid of the flip-flop. I haven't done one in a long
do
time.
a little flippy. I think the hair looks really cool. It's such a sharp cutoff right now. It looks like
Yeah.
it's almost two-toned.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool. You did a good job on the face, picking out your points of light, very simplified. And the structure of the face looks really good.
You helped me a lot, though, find that initial structure when I really was trying to put down my landmarks and get my base forms in. I definitely benefited by you looking over and saying, her head is like a Y into nowhere.
That is okay. I am happy to help when and where I can. I think the texture that you have with the brush strokes here is so fun. There's so many cool things like the transitioning up here on the forehead as it goes this direction. Looks very, very cool.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
And we'll do an even better job next time.
Yeah, we'll
on
have to do
Drawbli.
this again sometime where we do like multiple passes on the same thing.
Well, with that, thanks for watching, everybody. You can join us by sharing your
Portraits.
online using the hashtag Drawbli and click the subscribe button to be notified of future videos. And this is the part where we say
Goodbye.
goodbye, everybody. You did an excellent job, and I'm very
Thank you.
jealous of how good you did.
I am really surprised that it turned out so much to my liking. I liked yours a lot too, though. I did.
That's very kind of you.